This episode is brought to you by Nespresso. Gift magical mornings with Nespresso Virtuo Pop. Compact and stylish, Virtuo Pop is made to meet every morning coffee craving. From espresso to coffee, hot or iced, at the click of a button. And celebrate the season with Nespresso's limited edition coffee flavors. Sweet almond and hibiscus, cinnamon and candied tamarind, and festive double espresso. Magic in the making. Shop the holiday gift collection exclusively at Nespresso.com.
Welcome to From Dorms to Desks, job hunting tips for those early in their careers. A podcast brought to you by college recruiter job search site, which believes that every student and recent grad deserves a great career, and hosted by Work Defined. Join our AI co-hosts as they dive into tips, tricks, and insights that will help you land your next part-time, seasonal, internship, or entry-level job. Let's get your career started.
Welcome, future leaders and career pioneers, to the deep dive. That feeling, that powerful mix of exhilarating excitement and perhaps a touch of dizzying uncertainty as you contemplate or actually make the leap. From the structured world of academia into your very first professional role. You're a newbie, and the burning question isn't just how to survive, but how do you truly stand out, in all the right ways? How do you make your mark, build that foundation?
It really is a journey almost everyone takes, that whole transition from dorms to desks, as we call it. And honestly, in today's job market, which changes so fast, making a strong first impression, building those crucial relationships, and, continuously growing your skills, these aren't just nice to haves anymore. They're absolutely vital. So our mission today really is to be your guide through this critical early phase, helping you navigate these first years with confidence and some real strategic insight.
Absolutely. This deep dive is definitely tailor-made for you listening. We've gathered a really diverse, compelling stack of sources. We've pulled wisdom from seasoned career experts, insights from savvy staffing solutions people, practical guidance from government programs focused on those often underestimated soft skills, and even cutting-edge reports on workplace learning and career development from big names like LinkedIn. Our mission, it's clear. Extract the most actionable strategies, the surprising facts. Arm you with the knowledge not just to land that first job, but to absolutely thrive, make yourself indispensable, and build a truly resilient career, even, in this famously uncertain job market. Okay, let's dive in. Let's unpack this.
Laying the groundwork, avoiding common pitfalls, and cultivating key qualities.
So you've landed that first job. Seriously, congratulations. That's a huge achievement. Don't downplay that. But let's be real. Those initial days and weeks, they can feel like a genuine whirlwind, right? Like a whirlwind of names, new tasks, and frantic, okay, seriously, where is the break room? Questions. That nervous energy is totally normal, but it can also, surprisingly, lead to some easily avoidable missteps. We're calling this section the newbie trap. What are some of those classic rookie mistakes we need to be really aware of?
Oh, it's so true. That initial period, it's disproportionately critical for setting your professional reputation. It really is. And one of the most common pitfalls, something we've seen highlighted again and again by sources like Integrity Staffing Solutions, is simply not asking questions, even when you really, really should. New hires often just fall silent. They're afraid asking questions will make them look inexperienced, maybe unintelligent. But that fear, it frequently leads to completely avoidable mistakes down the line.
Oh, I've definitely been there. You don't want to seem like you don't know what you're doing, right? Especially when you're trying so hard to impress.
Yeah.
But what our sources are saying here is so important. Nobody expects you to know everything on day one. It's just not realistic.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, asking thoughtful, clarifying questions, that actually signals deep engagement. It shows a genuine eagerness to learn, a readiness to grow. And let's be honest, with workplaces evolving at lightning speed, integrating new AI tools, unfamiliar tech platforms, clarifying expectations and processes is more vital than ever. It's not a weakness at all. It's a strategic strength.
Precisely. And a powerful pro tip here, often overlooked, is to take notes. Really diligently jot things down and write down questions as they pop into your head. Don't wait until you're completely lost or confused. Supervisors, honestly, they genuinely appreciate that kind of initiative. It shows you're actively processing information, respecting their time, and, crucially, you learn faster when you engage this way. It shifts you from being just a passive receiver of information to an active participant in your own onboarding. Makes a huge difference.
That's a subtle shift, but a really significant one. Active versus passive. Okay, what's the next common pitfall that new professionals often stumble into?
Another frequent misstep is showing up unprepared. And this goes way beyond just being on time, although that's important too, obviously. It means being ready with all the required documents they ask for, meticulously understanding and actually adhering to the dress code, and even doing a practice run of your commute. Seriously, do it. Make sure you can reliably arrive, say, 10 to 15 minutes early takes the stress off. And in today's world, with hybrid work, tech-forward roles, unprepared also extends to things like not having logged into the digital tools they sent you links for, or not accessing training modules, or not being ready for those virtual onboarding sessions. You gotta embrace the tech. Familiarize yourself with it beforehand. It's there to help you integrate smoothly. This kind of forethought shows respect for your new team, for the company culture.
That makes total sense. It's about demonstrating that fundamental level of professionalism, respect for the company's time, their resources, right from the get-go, sets a positive tone before you even tackle your first task.
Exactly. Then, the third mistake, and this one can subtly isolate new hires, is skipping the social connections. It's completely natural to feel like the new kid, maybe want to keep to yourself, especially in a brand new environment. But building connections early on, it matters tremendously. Your coworkers can quickly become invaluable allies, maybe informal mentors, and honestly, even future references down the line. You never know. A friendly, "Hey, I'm new here, could you point me to the best coffee spot nearby?" Or just joining a casual break room chat. That can go a surprisingly long way. Being approachable, being kind, genuinely curious about others, it makes you memorable in a really positive, authentic way.
That's a great friendly reminder. Some of us who get so caught up in the big professional gestures, we forget the simple human power of just being kind and curious at work. Okay, what about initiative? Is there a common mistake related to being maybe too hesitant?
Oh, indeed. The fourth common misstep is holding back instead of taking initiative. Now, look, it's definitely smart to observe, listen, learn the ropes before you start suggesting major overhauls to everything. But just sitting back and, coasting, that's not the answer either. Once your assigned tasks are done, or maybe even if you notice a colleague seems to be struggling a bit, actively ask if there's anything else you can help with. Show that you are someone who's ready, who's willing to contribute beyond just, clocking in and clocking out. That proactive mindset really differentiates you immediately.
Right. So it's finding that sweet spot, that crucial balance between being a diligent observer, learning the culture, and being a proactive, engaged contributor. What's the nuance there for someone brand new?
Precisely. The nuance is critical. Always, always be mindful of the existing company culture. Don't come in guns blazing on day 2. Bring up new ideas after you've had some time to actually understand the why behind the current systems and processes. Listen first. Our sources point out that volunteering to learn new tech tools, maybe there's a new AI platform everyone's talking about, maybe even offering to lead a quick, informal, internal session on it once you've learned it. That's an exceptional way to shine. It demonstrates both initiative and a forward-thinking attitude. It positions you as a valuable asset, not just an extra pair of hands.
Yeah, I can absolutely see how that would make a significantly positive impression. Okay, what's the final and maybe the most damaging mistake in our newbie trap list?
The final pitfall, and it can be really insidious, is doing only the bare minimum, just getting by. Playing it safe might seem like a smart strategy when you're new, unsure of things, but doing only what's explicitly required, that can very quickly earn you a label of being, disengaged. And that label is incredibly difficult to shake later on. Instead, focus intently on completing every single task carefully, thoroughly. Follow instructions to the letter. Proactively ask for feedback on your work. How did I do on that report? Any suggestions for next time? And genuinely aim to exceed expectations wherever you reasonably can. Remember, your first few weeks, they're less about immediate groundbreaking achievements and more about meticulously building your professional reputation. Let it reflect a strong work ethic, adaptability, a consistently positive attitude, and a genuine desire to excel.
So those initial weeks are less about achieving perfection and more about demonstrating effort, right? Demonstrating attitude and that unshakable willingness to learn and contribute. Now, moving beyond just avoiding those pitfalls, let's talk about what truly makes someone an indispensable professional. What are the core skills, the qualities that define workplace success today?
Yeah, this brings us right to the concept of professionalism. And it's important, as our sources highlight, that this is much more than simply wearing a suit or following a dress code. The Department of Labor's Office of Disability Employment Policy, ODP, they have this excellent curriculum called Skills to Pay the Bills, right? And they define professionalism as conducting oneself with responsibility, integrity, accountability, and excellence. It's really an encompassing term. It includes effective communication, appropriate conduct, consistent productivity. It's how you embody your commitment to your role and your organization.
Okay, so why does this concept of professionalism matter so intensely, especially for someone just starting out, on that from dorms to desks journey into their first real career?
Because in today's hyper-competitive job market, professionalism is basically your secret weapon. It helps you stand out powerfully. Employers consistently, unequivocally value employees who are punctual, who manage their time effectively, who take ownership and responsibility for their work, who collaborate harmoniously with others, consistently deliver high-quality work, and always uphold honesty and integrity. It's not just one trait, it's truly the entire package, as they say. And it signals to your employer that you are a reliable, trustworthy investment.
And a huge, arguably foundational part of that entire package often goes down to what we usually just call soft skills, right?
Mm-hmm.
The ODP curriculum, Skills to Pay the Bills, puts immense emphasis on these. They're often dismissed as soft, but man, they are undeniably crucial.
Absolutely. The ODP curriculum really highlights that these soft, or maybe a better term is applied skills, things like teamwork, critical decision-making, nuanced communication, they are absolutely critical for effective employees and managers at all levels, even for really experienced professionals. Surveys, like the ones from the National Association of Colleges and Employers, they consistently rank these applied skills as the top characteristics employers are actively seeking. Things like your ability to communicate effectively, a strong work ethic, taking initiative, interpersonal skills, teamwork. They're always, always at the top of that list.
Okay, let's unpack this with some really fascinating and relatable examples straight from those ODP sources. First up, and it's truly the bedrock of almost everything else, is communication. Why is this skill just so perennially important, and what does it really mean in a professional setting?
Well, communication skills perpetually top the list for must-have abilities. It's the basic mechanism, right? How we give and receive information, how we convey our thoughts, influence others. And it shows up in so many forms. Verbal, the words we choose, our tone of voice. Oral, how well we actually listen and comprehend. Nonverbal, our facial expressions, body language, gestures. Written emails, texts, reports. And visual charts, signs, presentations, it's everywhere. Employers are deeply impressed by job candidates who move beyond simple one-word answers, who ask those insightful, clarifying questions we talked about, who share ideas thoughtfully, maintain appropriate eye contact, display good posture, and actively listen, really listen. These behaviors, even if they're just observed in an interview, they're strong predictors of how you'll interact with supervisors, colleagues, clients once you're actually hired.
And here's where it gets really interesting with some specific activities the ODT curriculum uses to illustrate these points, like the What's Your Point activity. It uses role-play scenarios to vividly show how critical it is to be specific and constructive in your communication. Think of Jade, right? She's mowing a lawn, gets some vague negative feedback from her boss, Mr. Z. It looks messy. Instead of getting defensive or, copping an attitude, which, let's face it, is a pretty natural human reaction, she calmly and professionally asked, "Can you please be more specific? What exactly didn't you like? In what way was it a mess?" And this approach, it helps her pinpoint the actual problem. Oh, cut grass left on the lawn, uneven edges, rather than just feeling generally criticized and confused.
Right. And we see a similar dynamic with Will, the guy who frequently runs late to his dental office job. His boss, Missy T, expresses concern. Will, instead of just making excuses or getting defensive, clarifies, "Miss T, I see that you're not happy, but will you please be more specific about the impact this is having?" So, seeking specifics. He then proactively proposes a solution, shifting his start time slightly and making up the time at the end of the day. Both examples powerfully illustrate that staying calm, asking those clarifying questions, focusing on solutions, and it helps you communicate effectively. It helps de-escalate potential conflicts and actually solve problems rather than creating new ones. That's a subtle but totally invaluable skill for a new professional.
It really is. It's about being proactive and solution-oriented, like you said, not reactive and defensive. Turns a potential problem into a chance for understanding, for improvement.
Yeah.
The flipping the switch activity is also a fantastic reminder that communication isn't like a one-size-fits-all skill. You naturally talk to your friends way differently than your family, right?
Yeah.
And you certainly wouldn't use the same language or tone with an employer.
Exactly. That activity prompts you to think about the often unspoken rules and standards that govern different social and professional contexts. Like, for instance, knowing when to offer a firm professional handshake versus a casual high five. Seems small, but it matters. Understanding and skillfully adapting to these contextual differences is a crucial soft skill for navigating diverse professional environments. It demonstrates social intelligence, respect for established norms, makes you appear more polished, more adaptable.
And then there's nonverbal communication captured so brilliantly in the activity called "Oh, please." Our body language often speaks way louder than our words, right? Sometimes even subtly contradicting them. We're talking about everything from facial expressions, sustained eye contact or, lack thereof, gestures, posture, even the subtle nuances of our voice tone.
Oh, nonverbal cues are profoundly impactful, often much more memorable than the actual words someone says. The source astutely points out that while some expressions, like a genuine smile, are pretty much universal, others are definitely culture-specific. And that's a vital consideration in today's increasingly diverse and globalized workplaces. Something to keep in mind. Think about how a firm, confident handshake can convey professionalism, trustworthiness, while, say, consistently avoiding eye contact might inadvertently suggest disinterest, insecurity, or even dishonesty. These subtle signals wield immense power in shaping how others perceive you, especially in those critical first few weeks.
The ODP curriculum even features this incredibly insightful exercise called Listen Here, using a paper folding activity. Super simple but effective. Participants are told to close their eyes and meticulously follow a series of verbal instructions to fold paper. And invariably, their final paper snowflakes never look the same. It's a brilliant hands-on way to show the inherent challenges of just one-way communication and the absolutely critical need for asking questions, for clarifying directions when information is being passed along.
And the follow-up activity, Quit Talking, I Know What to Do, further hammers this point home. It uses a quiz with seemingly simple instructions, but there's a hidden directive in there. Read all the instructions before starting. And guess what? It often leads to participants failing because they just jump straight into action. Both activities brilliantly highlight that effective two-way communication characterized by active listening, ample opportunities for questions and clarification is paramount. It avoids costly mistakes, ensures everyone's on the same page, and ultimately leads to successful outcomes. It teaches you. Don't assume, verify.
Wow. So communication is clearly multifaceted, incredibly dynamic. It constantly requires self-awareness, adaptation, definitely a lifelong skill. But what about something seemingly more intangible, like enthusiasm and attitude? How does that translate into tangible workplace success, especially for someone just starting their career?
A positive, resilient attitude is an absolutely huge workplace asset. Huge. It not only aids your own personal growth, your potential for a promotion, but it also significantly motivates and positively influences those around you. Creates a better vibe for everyone. The ODEP curriculum uses a fantastic analogy here, comparing a Super Bowl person, someone who effortlessly bounces back from obstacles, setbacks, to a raw egg person who, when encountering challenges, just sort of splatters and makes a mess. It powerfully reinforces that resilience, optimism, a proactive outlook. These are fundamental to navigating the inevitable bumps you'll hit in any career path.
And the Life is Full of Hard Knocks activity is just so incredibly inspiring. It beautifully recounts stories of famous people who faced massive public failures, but crucially, as the source says, they refused to quit. We're talking about towering figures like Abraham Lincoln endured 8 electoral defeats before becoming president. Walt Disney famously fired by a newspaper editor for lacking imagination. Can you imagine?
It's wild, right?
Dr. Seuss, his first book, rejected a staggering 23 times. J.K. Rowling living on welfare, mice in her apartment before the magic of Harry Potter. Or even Michael Jordan, famously cut from his high school varsity basketball team.
These powerful stories just underscore a vital lesson for anyone starting their career. Failure is not something to be feared, avoided at all costs. Rather, it's often a necessary, even invaluable, step on the path to significant success. These individuals demonstrate incredible enthusiasm for their goals and unwavering, resilient attitude facing immense adversity. Thomas Edison's famous quote perfectly captures this mindset. I have not failed 700 times. I have not failed once. I have succeeded in proving that those 700 ways will not work. It's about learning, adapting, persisting.
That's such a powerful reframing of failure, viewing it as iterative learning. Wow. And this positive attitude, this genuine enthusiasm, it even extends right into the job interview itself, doesn't it? Believe it or not, your attitude and enthusiasm just might get you the job. The activities uses compelling role play scenarios, demonstrating how genuine focused enthusiasm, even within those crucial first 30 seconds, can be the deciding factor in getting the role.
Indeed. The sources suggest that an employer often forms a really significant impression within those critical first moments of interaction. Genuine, focused enthusiasm like expressing clear, articulate interest in the specific job, asking thoughtful, relevant questions about the role or company, maintaining an engaged demeanor. That's what truly makes the difference. This stands in stark contrast to, inappropriate enthusiasm, like the bad applicant in the role play who just rambles aimlessly about body art and Rocky Road ice cream, completely missing the professional context. Employers consistently rate attitude as one of the top factors, maybe even the top factor, in whether a candidate ultimately gets hired. It signals potential, coachability, and a positive contribution to the team morale. It really matters.
So it's not just about what you say, but how you say it.
Sure.
And how you embody your eagerness, your resilience, your potential. What a fantastic and actionable foundation we've built for our listeners embarking on that from dorms to desks journey.
Securing your future, making yourself indispensable and layoff-proof.
All right, we've thoroughly covered the crucial groundwork, avoiding those common newbie traps, cultivating those absolutely essential core soft skills. Excellent stuff. Now let's zoom out a bit. Let's talk about something that's genuinely on the minds of so many people entering the workforce today. Yeah. Job security. Reports from sources like LinkedIn Learning, even College Recruiter itself, highlight a very real, palpable concern for early career professionals, the specter of job loss. How can our listeners begin cultivating what we might call a layoff-proof mindset? How do you make yourself truly indispensable?
If we knew more about our sleep, what would we do differently? Would we go to bed at a consistent time or take steps to reduce interruptions to our sleep? With the all-new Sleep Score, Apple Watch measures your bedtime consistency, interruptions, and sleep duration. Then, every morning it combines these factors into an easy-to-understand score from 1 to 100. So you'll know how to take the quality of your sleep from good to excellent. Introducing the new Sleep Score on Apple Watch. iPhone 11 or later required.
It's an incredibly valid concern, no doubt, and the data really paints a clear picture. My Perfect Resume's The Great Stay survey, for instance, revealed that a staggering 81% of workers feared job loss in 2025, and 76% anticipate a rise in layoffs. That's huge. Now, while it's true no job is ever 100% secure, College Recruiter emphasizes that strategic, proactive measures can make you as layoff-proof as possible. The key shift in mindset here isn't about simply working harder that just leads to burnout. It's crucially about working smarter. It's about increasing your value in a way that's visible, impactful to the organization.
Working smarter. I definitely like the sound of that. So what's the very first most strategic move our listeners should make in their new role to embody this?
Okay, the number one most potent way to become truly indispensable is to align yourself profoundly with company goals, and critically, with your manager's top priorities. This isn't just about showing up, completing your task list. It fundamentally shifts your value proposition. It moves you from just doing your job to actively adding tremendous strategic value. You absolutely need to understand the bigger picture. What is your company's overarching mission? What are your manager's top, say, 2 or 3 priorities for this quarter, this year? And how does your immediate team contribute directly to those larger objectives? Connecting those dots is key.
That makes perfect strategic sense. But how does someone, especially a new hire who might feel, intimidated, actually do that day to day without overstepping or seeming pushy?
Yeah, good question. It starts with proactive communication. During your one-on-ones with your manager, and seriously, if you don't have regular one-on-ones scheduled, ask for them. Ask insightful, forward-looking questions like, what are the top priorities for you and our team this quarter, and how can I best support those? Or, beyond my immediate tasks, how does our team's work contribute to the company's broader success and mission? Show you're thinking bigger. You also need to clarify success metrics for your specific role. Ask, what does truly great performance look like in this role beyond just meeting deadlines? And maybe even, how can I help make your job easier or more efficient? That one can really resonate with a busy manager. These questions show initiative, a strategic mindset, a desire to contribute at a higher level. Furthermore, be incredibly observant in team meetings. Listen intently for recurring concerns, challenges your manager or leadership keeps bringing up. Pay attention. And when you're offered or considering taking on extra work, be strategic in saying yes. Prioritize projects that clearly align with those top-level company and manager priorities. Even seemingly small contributions in these strategically aligned areas can get you noticed quickly and profoundly showcase your value.
So it's about being visible, proactive, and intensely strategic in where you put your energy. That's an invaluable takeaway for our From Dorms to Desk listeners, transforming tasks into tangible impact. Love it. What's another key move for early career professionals looking to secure their future?
Another pivotal move is to find a mentor, or even better if you can, a sponsor within the company. Mentors are generally experienced individuals who can provide guidance, share insights into company dynamics, the culture, help you make more informed career decisions. They offer invaluable lessons, honest feedback, someone you can bounce ideas off of. A sponsor, however, is even more impactful. They are typically a senior leader who actively advocates for you, often behind closed doors. They champion your potential, leading to new, challenging projects, maybe promotions or critical stretch opportunities you wouldn't get otherwise. They're essentially putting their own reputation on the line for you because they believe in you. It's powerful.
That sounds incredibly powerful, yeah. Almost like having an internal champion pulling for you. But how does one actually go about finding such a person? Especially when you're new. You might not know many people yet. It can feel a bit daunting.
It definitely can feel intimidating, but it's often more organic than you might think. You can start small. Maybe ask a more experienced team member you admire for a quick virtual coffee chat, just to learn about their career path. How did you get here? People often like sharing their story. Many mentorship relationships actually grow quite naturally from these initial low-pressure conversations. Also, look beyond your immediate team. Consider joining employee resource groups, ERGs for short. These are voluntary, employee-led groups, usually focused on shared identities or interests, and they're great for networking and fostering a diverse, inclusive workplace. Volunteer for cross-team projects if they come up, or simply ask your manager for recommendations. Is there anyone you think I could learn a lot from? Your company is this rich ecosystem of knowledge and experience, and honestly, many seasoned professionals are genuinely willing, even eager, to share their wisdom. When you do connect with a potential mentor or sponsor, be clear, be articulate about your career goals, your aspirations, so they can provide the most relevant, targeted support.
Beyond mentorship, continuous learning is always important, right? But it feels even more critical in today's incredibly fast-evolving world, especially with all the technological shifts happening.
Absolutely. Continuous skill building, often called upskilling, it's no longer optional. It's an absolute imperative. Over 60% of workers, according to recent reports, plan to upskill in 2025. That tells you something. This isn't just about staying current. It's about giving yourself a powerful competitive edge, signaling your adaptability to employers. Now, to identify the most impactful skills for your development, actively follow your company's strategic direction. If they're investing heavily in new project management software, dive in, learn it inside and out. If they're embracing AI, get curious. Delve into learning new tools, new processes related to AI platforms. Also, and I really cannot stress this enough, never neglect your soft skills. Communication, conflict resolution, time management, and especially emotional intelligence. These are becoming even more crucial for effective collaboration, for leadership, for standing out, particularly as AI starts handling more routine technical tasks. And finally, actively seek to build cross-functional skills. This means understanding how different departments operate, maybe working on projects that bridge those teams. It expands your internal network tremendously, and your understanding of the entire business makes you way more valuable.
I really love that idea of cross-functional skills. It truly expands your understanding beyond just your own little silo, makes you a more versatile contributor. Volt, a leading career intelligence platform, also mentions two other key points for making yourself indispensable: becoming a problem solver and becoming a go-to hub of knowledge.
Indeed. Becoming a problem solver means consciously shifting your mindset. You move from simply identifying problems, hey, this is broken, to proactively presenting thoughtful solutions. Hey, this is broken, and here are a couple of ways we might fix it. This demonstrates critical thinking, initiative, and that invaluable ability to handle crises calmly, strategically. You're not just a messenger of bad news, you're an architect of solutions. Managers love that. And becoming a go-to hub of knowledge means being generous with your expertise, sharing information, pointing colleagues to relevant resources. When you consciously cultivate a deep understanding of how different parts of the company intersect, how they function together, you become a vital resource. You become valuable for strategic decisions, for cross-functional collaboration. You become the person others instinctively turn to for advice or clarity, which significantly elevates your value.
Right. So it's about being seen as that valuable resource who proactively contributes, thinks critically, rather than just someone who passively executes tasks. Got it. Mm-hmm. Now let's shift gears a little. Let's talk about the deeply human yet often understated element of the workplace: relationships and teamwork.
Building strong, positive work relationships has an enormous, often underappreciated impact on your job satisfaction, your overall career trajectory. Huge impact. Research from BetterUp, which is a leading coaching platform, strongly emphasizes this. Robust professional relationships significantly increase your enjoyment of work, reduce discomfort in meetings, and provide essential psychological and practical support from colleagues when you need it. Conversely, and quite alarmingly, toxic workplaces. They are directly linked to mental health deterioration, and they contribute massively to burnout. So a positive relational environment isn't a luxury. It's really a necessity for your well-being and your productivity.
That makes so much intuitive sense. We spend so much time at work, right? So who are the key relationships we should absolutely prioritize cultivating as a new professional?
Okay, the most important relationship, unequivocally, is often with your manager. Building genuine trust, gaining their consistent support, that's paramount. Those regular weekly one-on-ones we mentioned, excellent structured way to foster consistent communication and alignment. Then there are your teammates, the people you work with day in, day out. They dramatically affect your daily job enjoyment, your productivity. Cultivating camaraderie, sharing a laugh sometimes, discussing plans openly with them makes work far more pleasant and efficient. Beyond your immediate team, clients and vendors are also crucial for the business's viability, its success. So maintaining professional, friendly, responsive demeanor, even with challenging clients, is critical. And finally, and perhaps most importantly, your relationship with yourself. This is key. This involves actively combating that negative self-talk, imposter syndrome, by regularly reflecting on your accomplishments, big and small. Proactively seeking constructive feedback, setting healthy personal and professional boundaries, and prioritizing self-care activities that actually replenish your energy. Don't neglect this.
That's such a powerful reminder. Self-care isn't selfish. It's a vital component of long-term professional success and resilience.
Absolutely. So what defines a truly good working relationship? What are its core characteristics?
Good working relationships, fundamentally, they're characterized by deep trust, mutual respect, genuine stakeholder involvement in decision-making processes, and consistently honest, open communication. Even when it's tough, these things aren't accidental. They require intentional, sustained effort to build and maintain over time. It's definitely an investment, not some quick fix.
Okay, so how do we actually build these crucial relationships? Give us some actionable, practical tips that our listeners can implement, like starting Monday morning. Okay. BetterUp provides 9 excellent actionable tips. Let's run through them. First, know what you bring to the table and what you need from colleagues. Understand your strengths, your weaknesses, how you can both contribute and be supported. Self-awareness first. Second, practice active listening. Like, really be receptive to what others are saying. Practice emotional intelligence. Try to discern unspoken cues. Use nonverbal signals like nodding to show genuine engagement. Third, make time for your coworkers, even if it's just a quick, spontaneous coffee break, virtual or in person. Those informal moments build real rapport. Fourth, consistently follow through on your commitments. This builds an impeccable reputation for reliability, trustworthiness. Do what you say you'll do. Fifth, know when and how to ask for help. It's a sign of strength, honestly, not weakness. Shows you're a team player, opens doors for collaboration. Don't feel you have to struggle alone. And remember, HR is also a resource if you feel uncomfortable asking a coworker directly about something sensitive.
Those are fantastic and incredibly practical. Okay, keep going. What else should we keep in mind?
Sixth, set clear boundaries. You need to effectively balance socializing with essential focus time. Techniques like time blocking can be incredibly helpful here. Protect your focus. Seventh, proactively show gratitude. Simple compliments, maybe sharing snacks if you're in the office, a sincere thank you note, or just maintaining a generally positive outlook can make a huge difference in how people perceive you. Eighth, skip the office gossip. At all costs. Seriously. It erodes trust, poisons the environment faster than anything. If you have a problem with someone, try to confront it directly, constructively. And ninth, start small. Be generally friendly, approachable, but also respect colleagues who genuinely prefer to keep more to themselves. Not everyone wants to be your work bestie, and that's totally okay.
Those are such practical, step-by-step actions anyone can implement, even as a new professional just finding their footing. But what happens when, despite your best efforts, work relationships just don't work? How do you navigate that tricky situation?
Yeah, it happens. If things really sour, first, take a moment to review the history together if possible. What exactly might have happened from both perspectives? Then, if it feels appropriate, make an effort to clear the air. Face-to-face is usually best, directly and professionally. Hey, can we talk about... Second, try to find shared goals. Identifying common professional ambitions or maybe project objectives you both care about can often ease friction, create a new basis for collaboration, find common ground. Third, and this is critical, look inward. Why is this person bothering you so intensely? Is something unconscious contributing to your negative feelings? Maybe something about your own triggers. That kind of self-reflection can be a really powerful tool in resolving interpersonal conflicts, or at least managing your reaction to them.
Okay, moving from individual relationships to the collective teamwork. Another absolutely essential skill for success. The ODP curriculum uses a fantastic basketball analogy here that really drives the point home, I think.
It really does illustrate the concept perfectly. Imagine a basketball team, right? Every single member has a specific vital role. One player might score most of the points, sure, but many others are planning, coordinating, setting screens, cooperating tirelessly just to get that player the ball in the right spot. Employers aren't just looking for individuals who can contribute ideas. They desperately want workers who can seamlessly integrate, work well with others. This involves working cooperatively towards shared goals, actively contributing ideas, effective two-way communication, giving and receiving feedback, a strong sense of personal responsibility, profound respect for differing opinions even when you disagree, and the ability to participate constructively in group decision-making. It's about that synergy.
I love how there is no I in team activity in the curriculum. Beautifully weaves in those inspiring quotes from legendary leaders like Vince Lombardi, Henry Ford, and Mia Hamm. Lombardi's famous line, individual commitment to a group effort. That is what makes a team work. That really sums up the essence, doesn't it?
Absolutely. These quotes powerfully reinforce the idea that teamwork dramatically multiplies individual success. It's not just addition, it's multiplication. As Michael Jordan himself, a player known for incredible individual brilliance, wisely stated, talent wins games, but teamwork and intelligence win championships. Oh. Employers rate this ability so highly because they inherently understand that when everyone works together, leverages diverse strengths, pulls in the same direction, the collective achievements far, far surpass what any single individual could accomplish alone. It fosters that culture of shared success.
I'll give you some of mine if you give me some of yours. Activity is such a neat and practical way for listeners to sort of self-assess their own teamwork skills. It touches on everything from being reliable, being an effective communicator, to being flexible, cooperative, a proactive problem solver within the team. It even suggests that the often underrated act of asking for help is a crucial teamwork skill in itself, which is interesting.
Precisely. That activity not only encourages honest self-reflection, but also prompts you to develop a tangible plan. Okay, where am I maybe less confident? What's one step I can take to improve? And then there's the good, the bad, and the reasonable, which candidly discusses common barriers to effective teamwork. Things we all experience, right? Inconsistent players, time management issues, personality compatibility clashes, communication breakdowns, lack of trust, unclear goals. It's about acknowledging these universal challenges and proactively developing strategies to navigate them, overcome them, turn potential roadblocks into opportunities for team growth.
I'm particularly intrigued by the how many shapes does it take activity. It uses different geometric shapes, the square, rectangle, triangle, circle, and squiggle, to represent distinct personality types within a team. This sounds like a really fascinating way to understand team dynamics.
Are you tired of talent and HR podcasts that sound like corporate training videos? Same. Talentless is the no-fluff show about hiring, leadership, culture, and what's actually going on in the world of work. Talentless is a podcast for recruiters by recruiters. Hosted by Desiree Goldie and Ashley King, they're smart, occasionally salty, and never afraid to say what everyone else is thinking. Listen wherever you get your podcasts and subscribe at talentlesspodcast.com.
It's an incredibly insightful model, actually. This activity helps participants understand, in a very visual way, how diverse roles and personality types contribute to a balanced, cohesive, and ultimately more effective team. So squares, for example, are typically logical, structured, organized. Rectangles are often curious, flexible explorers, comfortable with ambiguity. Triangles are competitive, results-oriented leaders. Circles are the social, empathetic communicators who really value harmony. And squiggles are the highly creative, outside-the-box thinkers. The source categorizes squares, rectangles, and triangles as primarily convergent thinkers focused on specific goals, analytical problem solving. While circles and squiggles are more divergent, more creative, intuitive, relationship-focused, the profound takeaway here is that it truly takes all types. You need that rich tapestry of skills and perspectives to make an efficient, innovative, winning team. And as a new professional, just observing these different styles, learning to adapt your own communication and working approach to each, that can be a superpower for building rapport and actually getting things done effectively with different people.
That's a brilliant framework for understanding team dynamics. Really practical. And finally, the teamwork on the job activity uses scenarios, like Sean's project, where she ended up doing all the work herself because others didn't step up, or that classic coffee shop condiment dilemma, where no one refills things,
Yeah.
to analyze common teamwork challenges. And it discusses potential manager interventions, explores how to foster respect and shared responsibility within a team.
Exactly. These scenarios highlight how to approach real-world issues constructively, turning conflict or frustration into an opportunity for team growth and clearer expectations. The benefits of strong teamwork are just so clear and compelling. It provides invaluable support, leverages a diverse array of skills, ensures a more equitable distribution of work, sparks greater creativity, innovation, and ultimately leads to faster, more effective accomplishment of shared goals. All absolutely vital for our listeners on their from dorms to desks journey.
Leveraging networks and adapting to the modern workplace.
Okay, we've now covered the crucial groundwork, right? From avoiding rookie mistakes to mastering those vital soft skills and teamwork. Solid foundation. But as our From Dorms to Desks listeners look ahead, they need to think beyond just their immediate team, their current role. Part 3 is all about strategically securing that future. And when it comes to finding jobs, advancing careers, there's that timeless, almost cliche saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Still true.
That expression perfectly and, powerfully introduces the concept of networking, which the ODP curriculum emphasizes as an absolutely critical strategy for career development. Cornell University's Career Center highlights a staggering statistic. Something like 80% of available jobs are never actually advertised publicly. 80%. This is what we call the hidden job market. And your personal and professional network, it's not just an asset. It's basically your primary access point to this vast, unadvertised realm of opportunity.
80%. That's just a huge number. So what exactly constitutes your personal network? Because it sounds like it's far broader, more pervasive than most people initially think.
It truly is. Your personal network isn't just like a curated list of professional contacts you met at some event. It's this expansive web that includes virtually everyone you interact with on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Your family members, your friends, neighbors, past teachers, former bosses, current and previous coworkers, members of your religious or community groups, volunteer organizations, and increasingly, of course, your online connections. Networking isn't some formal, intimidating event you have to dress up for. It happens every single day. Every time you engage in a social event, strike up a thoughtful conversation, or even just send a personalized connection request on LinkedIn. It's constant.
And why is networking so profoundly effective? Does it really make that much of a difference compared to just, hitting apply on hundreds of online job postings?
Oh, absolutely. The difference is stark. The vast majority of people learn about job openings and opportunities through their personal network, word of mouth. Hiring managers, for very understandable reasons, often prefer candidates who come recommended by someone they already know and trust within their organization. Reduces the risk for them. Networking also frequently leads to what are known as informational interviews, which are incredibly powerful tools, especially early in your career. According to Quintessential Careers, a respected career resource, a remarkable one out of every 12 informational interviews, results in a job offer down the line. Compare that to a pretty discouraging one in every 200 resumes submitted blindly online. That's a profound difference in your odds.
1 in 12 versus 1 in 200. Wow. That's not just a remarkable difference. It's like a strategic imperative for job seekers. An introduction to networking activity really hammers home that networking is not some passive activity, an active process. It's for deliberately developing relationships and proactively discovering opportunities.
Exactly. It's about consciously, thoughtfully telling others about your professional goals, demonstrating your capabilities, and fostering genuine relationships. Not just transactional exchanges. What can you do for me? And a cornerstone tool for this active process is, as I mentioned, the informational interview. Now, it's crucial to understand what this is not. It's not a job interview. Its primary purpose is purely to gather valuable information about a specific career field, an industry, a company, a particular occupation. It allows you to make more informed decisions about your own path. It's research, basically, but with a real person.
Okay, so if it's not a job interview, what kind of questions should you prepare to ask in an informational interview? How do you maximize its value without putting them on the spot asking for a job?
Good point. You'd want to prepare open-ended questions that genuinely seek insight, show you've done some homework. For example, could you describe your typical career path to get to this role? Or, what do you genuinely like most, and maybe least, about your work day to day? You could ask about a typical day in their role. What specific skills or training did they find most critical for success? Maybe ask about what entry-level salaries in their field might look like, just for context. Or even, towards the end, ask if they know other contacts in the field whom they think you might benefit from speaking to. And crucially, always follow up promptly with a personalized thank you note or email. Make sure you specifically mention concrete, helpful pieces of information or advice they provided. It shows you are listening, value their time, and are professional.
Now, for many of our From Dorms to Desks listeners, the whole idea of proactively reaching out with strangers or even just acquaintances about career stuff can feel incredibly intimidating, super awkward sometimes. The ODP activity, You Expect Me to Do What? Talk to People, brilliantly addresses this inherent fear head-on with a simple yet effective framework. The 3 Ps.
Yes. The 3 Ps are prepare, practice, and pull yourself together. Love this. To prepare, meticulously research the person and their company beforehand. Write a concise script or just an outline of your key points and questions. Knowing your purpose, having your thoughts organized, dramatically reduces anxiety. For practice, repeatedly say what you want to convey out loud. Focus on a clear, confident voice, a friendly, calm tone. Role play with a trusted friend, family member, career counselor, whoever. Get comfortable, iron out the kinks, and finally, to pull yourself together. Ensure impeccable grooming, basic hygiene, appropriate dress. The advice is often one step above the company's usual daily dress code, just to show respect. And remember to bring essential items like a neat pen, paper for notes, maybe a clean, updated resume just for reference if the conversation organically leads there. Don't push it on them, but have it handy.
The story of Pradeep, the student who reached out to Ray, an entrepreneur he deeply admired, it perfectly illustrates the power of these 3 Ps. Pradeep overcame his initial fear by diligently doing his homework right. He thoroughly researched Ray's business strategy, prepared specific, thoughtful questions. And Ray, in turn, was genuinely flattered by Pradeep's preparation, his initiative. It beautifully demonstrates how that proactive effort, overcoming your fear, can forge incredibly valuable connections. Okay. In today's hyper-connected world, our professional network isn't just built in person anymore. It's heavily, inextricably digital. So let's pivot and talk about your digital footprint and communication etiquette. Social media, for better or worse, is absolutely foundational to 21st century communication. No escaping it.
Absolutely. Platforms like Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, they're ubiquitous. They profoundly shape how we connect, how we're perceived. ODEP's Skills to Pay the Bills curriculum actually provides a pretty balanced perspective here. It outlines both the significant pros and the undeniable cons of social media, the advantages for young people. They include boosting social skills, fostering independence, self-expression through creating content, enhancing digital competence just by using new tech, aiding educational development through collaborative discussions, providing a relatively safe space for researching sensitive topics sometimes. And specifically for youth with disabilities, it can open up a whole new world of communication, integration, community participation, allows them to practice social skills, express themselves, sometimes anonymously, which can reduce social anxiety. Lots of potential benefits.
But with those very real pros come equally significant risks, especially for young professionals looking to establish their careers, right?
Indeed. The risks are substantial. They demand careful navigation. They include the dangers of sharing excessive personal information leading to victimization, deception, the severe emotional harm inflicted by cyberbullying, which can be relentless, devastating, and critically, the permanence of online profiles. As our sources starkly warn, once information has been shared on the internet, it's out there forever. Seriously, inappropriate content, even from years ago, can absolutely haunt future job or college applications. It happens. There's also the risk of unintentional disclosure, where maybe less discretionary online behavior might inadvertently reveal personal details, including sensitive info like a disability, even when not intended. For instance, joining certain support groups could be visible.
The ODEP curriculum even has a section called Using Social Media to Network, which actually encourages debating these pros and cons. And the implications for job seekers, as we discussed, are stark. Our sources from CareerBuilder.com mention that whopping 77% of recruiters run online searches on candidates, 77%, and a startling 35% admit to eliminating candidates based purely on what they discover online.
That is a profoundly powerful statistic. It makes online reputation management an absolute non-negotiable for anyone entering the professional world today. CareerBuilder.com offers some crucial digital do's and don'ts. First, be careful to just operate with the understanding that virtually nothing online is truly private. Assume someone could see it. Don't post anything you wouldn't want a future employer or maybe your grandmother to see. Good rule of thumb. Second, be discreet. Diligently set your social media accounts to private wherever possible. Disable comments from strangers. And crucially, remember the adage, everything on the internet is archived and there is no eraser. Seriously, no taking it back sometimes. Third, be prepared to actively check your own digital profile. Google yourself regularly. See what comes up. Be ready to politely, professionally explain any digital dirt if an employer happens to bring it up. And proactively avoid complaining about former employers online. Huge red flag. Avoid those hard partying pictures. Avoid aggressive or inappropriate language. Just basic common sense, really.
And what about the often subtle nuances of online professional communication? I'm thinking specifically about that whole text versus email etiquette, does it really matter question. Many young adults live on text, but professional communication, it's a different beast.
Oh, it absolutely matters. The distinction is critical. While many young adults have grown up preferring texting for its immediacy, its informality, robust email skills are fundamentally crucial for college applications, job applications, and virtually all professional correspondence. It's the standard. The ODP activity provides an excellent translation exercise where you practice converting informal text messages like full of abbreviations and emojis into clear professional English suitable for an employer. And alongside that, it gives a concise yet comprehensive list of essential email etiquette rules.
Okay, what are some of those key email etiquette rules that new professionals absolutely need to master? Hit us with the highlights.
All right. Always use a clear, concise subject line that immediately conveys the email's purpose. Don't make them guess. Begin with a formal greeting like, Dear Mr. M's last name, especially if you don't know them well. End with a professional closing like, Sincerely, or Regards. Maintain business-appropriate language throughout. Correct spelling, grammar, punctuation use, spell check. Avoid all CAPS that looks like shouting. Avoid slang, too many emojis, excessive exclamation points, especially in introductory or formal emails. Steer clear of jokes or sarcasm tone. It's really hard to read an email. Definitely no gossip or complaining about work stuff via email. Bad idea. Keep your message concise to the point, respect their time, and perhaps most importantly, always reread and proofread carefully before hitting send. Catch those typos. And a final simple tip. For job searching, professional correspondence, avoid those silly or informal email addresses from high school. Opt for one that simply displays your full name. It just conveys maturity, professionalism.
Right, so it's about thoughtfully translating those soft skills we discussed earlier, communication, professionalism, attention to detail into the digital realm, recognizing that your online persona is now absolutely an extension of your professional identity. Okay, finally, let's talk about the broader dynamic picture, the evolving landscape of career development, AI, and adaptability. The LinkedIn Learning Report 2025 painted a pretty clear and somewhat concerning picture of a potential skills crisis. What's that about?
That's right, and it's a critical insight for our listeners, especially those starting out. Nearly half of learning and development, L&D professionals, surveyed, see a significant skills crisis emerging. Executives in particular are deeply concerned that their employees lack the necessary skills for current and future business strategy. There's a gap. The report powerfully stresses that proactive learning, combined with robust career development, things like leadership training, internal coaching, facilitating internal mobility, that's the most potent solution. It dramatically accelerates the flow of critical skills throughout an organization, and it's consistently cited as the #1 motivation for employees to actually engage in learning. Investing in this holistic approach, it builds loyalty, energizes the workforce, sparks innovation. It's good for everyone.
And some companies, it seems, are truly becoming career development champions in this regard, setting themselves apart.
Exactly. Only about 36% of organizations currently fall into this category of career development champions. Not a huge number. However, these champions outpace others on key indicators of business success. They report greater confidence in their profitability. They're significantly more effective at attracting and retaining top talent, which is huge right now. And quite notably, they are 42% more likely to be frontrunners in adopting and integrating generative AI or GAI, like those large language models you hear about creating new content or code, compared to non-champions. They fundamentally see career development and AI upskilling as a cohesive, unified strategy. It's about achieving agility, future readiness.
Wow, so that strong commitment to career development correlates with some very tangible positive benefits beyond just the bottom line, it sounds like.
It absolutely does. It directly leads to more engaged learners, higher promotion rates, both overall and crucially into leadership positions, building that internal pipeline. And it fosters a healthier flow of invaluable institutional knowledge, preventing brain drain, upskilling, personalized coaching, encouraging internal mobility. These make employees feel profoundly valued, deeply engaged, and consequently far more likely to stay. The message is clear. Employees now explicitly expect employers to help them keep their skills current. If not, they will seek opportunities elsewhere. This puts the onus on organizations, sure, but it also creates immense opportunity for individuals who embrace self-driven growth. Take control of your own learning.
What are some of the critical skills that are most at risk of being lost due to employee turnover, according to that LinkedIn report? These must be particularly valuable ones to cultivate.
Yeah, the report specifically identifies skills like business strategy, strategic planning, sales management, and project planning as at-risk skills.
Yeah.
What's striking about these? They all demand sophisticated critical thinking, deep institutional knowledge, the ability to work effectively with ambiguity, uncertainty. These aren't easily automated or quickly acquired through a weekend course. Their retention is paramount for companies.
And managers, it seems, play an absolutely crucial role here as career champions,
Yes.
right? Steering employees to skill-building opportunities, experiences. But it sounds like they're struggling a bit to fully fulfill that role right now.
Unfortunately, yeah. Employee support for managers, specifically in terms of career development, has seen a noticeable decline recently. Only 15% of employees reported that their manager helped them build a career plan in the last 6 months. That's a 5 percentage point decline just from 2024. So to truly unlock this potential, organizations really need to invest in things like rigorous leadership assessments for managers, maybe cohort-based development programs for managers, and transparent feedback loops to empower managers to effectively serve as career coaches for their teams. This is a systemic challenge, yes, but it's also an opportunity for new professionals to proactively seek out this guidance if their manager isn't initiating it. Don't wait.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting and, frankly, a bit futuristic. AI's evolving role in career development. It's not just changing what skills are in demand. It seems like it's fundamentally transforming how we acquire those skills, too.
Absolutely. AI is rapidly delivering dynamic, on-demand, and deeply personalized learning technology. It's moving fast. Those career development champions we mentioned, they are 32% more likely to deploy AI training programs, and an astounding 88% more likely to offer gig opportunities or internal project-based learning, leveraging AI to match employees with relevant experiences that build skills. They view AI as a powerful competitive advantage in skill development. A prime example is IBM. They're using their advanced enterprise AI platform, watsonx AI, that's WATSONX, to analyze employee skills, personal aspirations, even market trends. And then it suggests optimal career roles, helps employees identify the most sought-after skills for their future job trajectories. It's personalized career growth at scale.
That's a genuine game changer, personalizing career growth on a massive, almost predictive scale.
Wow.
And ultimately, with all these external forces, new tools, it still comes down to inspiring and enabling individual growth, doesn't it? The person has to want it.
Indeed it does. At its core, 84% of employees agree that learning adds purpose to my work. People want to grow. So, organizations and individuals themselves must provide the tools for robust self-reflection, clear goal setting, diligent pursuit of skill building. This brings us kind of full circle to activities like ODP's professional problem solving at its best, which includes that profoundly insightful rocking chair exercise.
The rocking chair exercise is such a poignant, almost philosophical way to look at your career path. You vividly imagine yourself in your final years, sitting in a rocking chair, reflecting back on your career choices, your most significant accomplishments, your lingering regrets, and crucially, what genuinely brought you happiness, fulfillment along the way. It's about projecting forward to gain clarity and then taking control of your life, your career now, based on that future vision.
It is a really powerful tool for deep introspection, for values clarification, what really matters to you. It then follows up with 10 questions for career dreams, which is a structured self-reflection, designed to help you define your life goals, identify your core work values, pinpoint your true passions, assess your current skills honestly. Confront those limiting beliefs we all have, cultivate necessary empowering beliefs, articulate your choices, and then make concrete commitments to actually move forward. This emphasizes introspection not as some soft, abstract concept, but as an incredibly practical professional problem-solving tool. Absolutely crucial for shaping your future career in this ever-evolving landscape.
What an incredible journey through making yourself indispensable, not just for your first job, but really for a whole career arc.
It really is all about proactive, engaged, and truly lifelong learning. That's the key. Outro.
Wow, what a deep dive this has been, seriously. We've journeyed from shrewdly avoiding those common newbie missteps, remember, like staying silent when you should ask questions, or just doing the bare minimum. Don't do that. To diligently cultivating essential soft skills like clear, adaptable communication, a resilient, positive attitude, and profoundly effective teamwork. So important. We then explored strategically positioning yourself for long-term success, aligning your work with company goals, continuously developing your most impactful skills, and mastering the absolutely vital art of professional networking in our increasingly digital age. These aren't just skills for your first job, right? These are truly foundational for a lifetime of learning, growth, and meaningful contribution.
And as we cast our gaze toward the future, in a world where technical skills are constantly evolving and the very landscape of work is now inextricably intertwined with the rise of AI, the most indispensable quality you can cultivate isn't just a specific technical expertise, though that's important too. It is ultimately the profound adaptability and the quiet courage to continuously learn to thoughtfully connect with others and to proactively reinvent yourself again and again as needed.
So as you embark on your from dorms to desks journey, and indeed throughout your entire career, we leave you with this provocative thought to ponder. How will you proactively shape your learning journey, both formally and informally, to ensure you're not just ready for a desk, but truly ready for any desk, anywhere, in the dynamic, unpredictable future? Your career is your own evolving deep dive.
Absolutely. Take these insights, apply them with intention, and remember that your career journey is a dynamic and evolving deep dive of its own. Embrace it. Explore it.
Thank you so much for joining us on the deep dive. We truly hope this conversation empowers you to not just survive, but to absolutely thrive.
This has been From Dorms to Desks, job hunting tips for those early in their careers, a podcast brought to you by college recruiter job search site, which believes that every student and recent grad deserves a great career. Each episode, we dive into tips, tricks, and insights that will help you land your next part-time, seasonal, internship, or entry-level job. Subscribe to this podcast for free now, so you don't miss an episode, and visit www.collegerecruiter.com to find your next great job.